Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to answer which is the better stock to buy, Ford or Rivian. I'm going to measure the two across several different metrics, so let's get right into it. Ford stock was down 44% in 2022. Meanwhile, Rivian was down 82.2%, nearly double that of Ford's stock price decline. Next, I want to look at revenue for the trailing 12 months, and Ford, you can see revenue fell a little bit and then it stayed flat, and it's recently been rebounding to 151 billion in the trailing 12 months. Ford makes a variety of cars. Of course, it is ramping up EV production, and consumer demand for its EV cars are robust, especially for the F-150 Lightning. There's a lot of consumer demand for that. And then Rivian, of course, is an exclusive EV car maker, really just now starting to ramp up production starting in July of 2022, making deliveries, and revenue in the trailing 12 months jumped all the way up to 1 billion. I would not be surprised if revenue grows really fast for Rivian over the next several years. It's got really strong consumer demand, or strong backlog of orders, and of course it has that 100,000 electric delivery van order from Amazon, and Amazon is an investor in Rivian Automotive. So both have the positive sides of their growth going forward. Next, I want to look at net income quarterly for these two companies, just to demonstrate that how much money Rivian is losing on the bottom line here. 1.7 billion in the most recent quarter. Ford, of course, is also having its profitability difficulties. 827 million in losses in its most recent quarter, and more losses, quarters with losses also, but also quarters with huge profits, over $10 billion in profits. And this is likely due to seasonality in deliveries and sales for Ford. It's been around for decades, nearly a century, and it knows how to produce cars and sell them at profit, while Rivian is just now trying to figure that out, and there is no telling if it will ever figure out how to sell cars at profit, if it'll ever reach profitability. Next, I wanted to look at cash flow from operations, looking at Ford Motor Company, consistently positive cash flow from operations, trailing 12 months cash flow from operations of 9.2 billion, where Rivian was negative 4.7 billion in cash flow from operations in the trailing 12 months. And you're asking, how could Ford be so positive on cash flow from operations and negative in terms of net income? And there's a lot of non-cash expenses that the manufacturer was taking on, one of them being depreciation. And so the company can still generate huge amounts of cash flow from operations like you're seeing, and still not generate profits on the bottom line on the income statement. So huge advantage in Ford in terms of cash flow from operations versus Rivian. Finally, let's look at the valuation. And since Rivian was not consistently positive in terms of cash flow or earnings, I chose to use the price to sales ratio to compare these two. And looking at this metric, Ford is trading at a price to sales of 0.34, and Rivian is trading at a price to sales of 15.69. So Rivian is what is this, nearly 40 times more expensive than Ford, according to this metric. Now, admittedly, Rivian's sales are going to grow much faster than Ford's are over the next several quarters, and probably over the next several years. Still, in my opinion, this kind of premium valuation is unjustified for a company that has yet to prove it can ramp up manufacturing in a profitable way. And so for that reason, to answer the question, which one of these two is the better stock to buy, I'm going to say Ford is the better stock to buy here. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.